Welcome back, everybody. So I'm super excited to show you this plant. I'm sorry if there's some background noise. My kids are watching some videos. But anyways, back to the plant. This is an azalea, but it's a pretty rare, pretty hard to find azalea. It's actually called an No Hikari. And I did actually do some research. As I'm doing, bonsai and learning about new plants, I try to research things, and I researched what those words mean in Japanese. And ai means love, it's ai, and then no is kind of like a possessive joining word for two nouns. So, and then hikari means light. So there's no real direct translation, like I said, for no. So it's kind of, it could be a lot of different words, but it's basically saying, love, light, or the love of light, or love as light, or that's kind of what it translates into. I don't think there's any real direct translation. At least I couldn't find one. I spent about 30 minutes researching these online, trying to find some type of direct translation into English, and I don't know if there actually is one because I kept getting a bunch of random guesses. So anyways, it's a really nice azalea. I'll show you the top real quick. Very super compact, very tiny leaves, which makes it look really cool. And the way that it holds its foliage, it really gives it that really cool pad look. Now, the guy didn't even want to sell me this tree. I bought this from a guy who does pre-bonsai, nursery stuff. That's all he does. He basically creates trees that are going to be turned into bonsai. So he takes a lot of the legwork out of it for you. He pre-bends all the trees and grows them for many years. So you get a really nice tree, but he didn't want to sell me this tree. He looked at it and he's like, I don't think I can sell it. It's got really good movement. It's pretty rare. It's pretty big for this type of tree. And he really didn't want to sell it. So eventually I talked him into it, but it was a pretty high number. Really wanted this tree. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna kind of try to show you what this looks like. Let me see if we can get you in here to see the trunk. Again, I'm not sure with all the foliage you're gonna be able to see it, but a lot of these have to go, and this is gonna be one of the hardest things for me, is to not go ahead and try to trim this plant this year. I have to wait until spring. I really shouldn't be doing much pruning of any type on this tree because I don't want to tell the tree that it's time to grow, and I also definitely don't want to trim any of the foliage that you want to bloom because the buds have already set. Wherever the buds are now, that's where they're going to bloom in the spring. So those are the two reasons really shouldn't be pruning this now, but there are a couple branches that I'm going to take off today, and the reason is, again, I don't think you're gonna be able to see this very well, but these kind of branches, so like this right here, definitely not part of the final design. It's growing out of the base of the tree, and what it's doing is it's causing the trunk to balloon over in one spot because all of the energy from that branch is going into that one spot of the trunk. And there's a couple of those around here that aren't gonna be used. So this one, possibly this one, but I'll probably leave that until spring. And then this one down here also needs to come off. So I'm at least gonna take those off today. My goal is to not trim, any more than like an eighth of the foliage off today. The rest I'm just gonna have to bear down and not touch this tree until spring. It's gonna be very hard for me because I really wanna shape this thing into a really nice bonsai tree, but this will be a really great spring project. If you wanna see this, stick around, subscribe. You'll see it probably in June. Again, I don't think I can really show you the shape. Might be able to as you can see, it's got some nice bends in there. Yeah, it's gonna be so hard for you guys to see until I actually do this transformation for you. But I'm not gonna waste this. I'm gonna try to take these clippings and get them to root out. I have a couple different tricks I'm gonna try, so that hopefully at least one of them works and I get at least one more plant. Maybe they'll all work and I'll get 3 or 4 more plants. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and, like I said, I'm gonna take these ones off that are causing the trunk to grow out incorrectly, and that should actually kind of give you a little better of a visual of what this thing is gonna look like. Let me get these few branches out of here and then we'll be all set with this tree. There's that one. I got a cup of water down here. Just gonna stick them in there for now until I'm done with the video. Then I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, pot those things up. Alright everyone, what I think I'm going to do, I've gotten all the big branches off for now, for this year. One thing I'm going to do is there's so many branches coming out of that same area, that clump that's been bubbling off of the trunk because of those long branches I just trimmed off. There's all these little branches down here coming off of that same lump. So I really need to get rid of that and help, bring the trunk back to shaping itself with just this part of the tree, because it's, like I said, it's ballooning out this way because of all of these branches. And the tree's gonna snake up that way anyways. Branches, there's not gonna be many, maybe I'll leave like this one, and definitely this one's staying. But all of this, after the blooms next year, is getting removed so that you can see the trunk. So at least the front part of it over here that's coming out of that bubbled up trunk area is coming off right now. So that's pretty awesome. That one actually has, I don't know if I can ever get that. That is probably not going to focus. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there are small roots on that. So that's going right into the water. I'm actually going to plant that right away. Might even put that in the grow tent downstairs for the winter and kind of see, maybe I can get that to turn into a little miniature plant. I should just plant this and put it in the grow tent just to see what happens. So that was actually, this part was actually connected to an upper branch on the tree, which was growing down into the ground, started rooting under the ground. There's no leaves on it anywhere. But I feel like just because of the way azaleas grow, that there are some bud sites on here. Like, there's nothing sticking out of them, but they're there. And I feel like I could actually possibly grow this into another azalea. So stay tuned about, if you want to see this, subscribe. Everything in my grow tent is growing insane. It's on an 18-hour light schedule. So if this works, I mean, this could potentially have leaves on it within a couple weeks. So that's going to go right into a little tiny pot, and I will start to see if I can grow that actually. It's kind of cool. Can't wait to repot this next year. There's this massive weed that I already tried to get out, but it just ripped the top of it off. I mean, it was huge. It was coming off the top of the plant. It was insane. And it's just, the roots are still in there, and that's gonna really mess with the tree, so I can't wait to get in there and get those out. But again, I really have to be patient with this. I can't, this was very expensive, so I can't ruin this tree. It's a really nice tree. It's got some really nice shape to it. So that's all I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna zoom, I don't know if I can zoom in anymore. Let me see here, I might have to bring the plant to you. Yeah, there we go. So I'm still gonna bring the plant over. All right, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. All those branches were growing out of this huge bubble of a trunk down at the base, and that's why it was bubbling out like that, was because all the energy from those branches was just feeding this spot. And all these little branches too. So I went ahead and clipped those all off. I'm actually gonna seal them up because I don't want any type of infections or diseases on this thing. So even though they're pretty small, I'm still gonna seal all those up before I put it back outside. And this definitely helps you see the shape of the tree more. Let me zoom back out a bit. All right, everybody, that's it. That's all I can really do until spring comes. I really can't do much else without, harming the health of the tree. So I'm just gonna have to be patient, and this thing's gonna go into kind of a cold storage unit where it's probably gonna get down to no lower than 35 degrees. Just kind of keep it in that range between 35 and 40, and make sure it's got water, and that's pretty much it all winter long. Come spring though, this thing is I'm gonna let it blossom, go through its flowering stage, and then it's gonna get completely reshaped. Keeping a lot of these really nice pads, but a lot of this foliage down that growing right directly out of the trunk, that's probably a lot of that's gonna go. And I'll probably cut this thing back pretty hard so I can start developing the tree that I really want. But thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe if you want to see this one transform. Again, I have 11 other azaleas that I got same day as this one. They're all kind of pretty hard to find azaleas, especially in this area. So I have some little dwarf ones that are only like 4 inches tall, but they're like 6 years old. So some really cool ones I'll show you. And those will be coming out here over the course of this next week. They'll just be quick little videos just to show you the trees, and I'm not going to be doing any trimming on those. It's just going to be to kind of introduce you to the trees, and we'll kind of see what they look like in the spring, and then we'll go ahead and shape them into little tiny miniature bonsai trees. And then I have some bigger ones like this that will also be turned into some bigger bonsai trees. But again, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody.